And back home, with a few weeks to go before the May 29 poll, political party campaigns are also in full swing as ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to visit 3 wards in Durban as well as engage with various stakeholders in Westville. Now, KwaZulu-Natal is the country's most or hotly contested province, especially with the emergence of the MK party, which is led by former President Jacob Zuma, whom is still a member of the ANC. SABC News politics reporter Samkele Maseko is in Durban with the president, hopefully, and he joins us now. Samkele, KZN, as I introduced, the most hotly contested province, the ANC facing a new threat with, of course, the emergence of MK and the IFP being part of that multi-charter pact. How has the ANC president been received in the province during this campaign trail?
At this point in time, the president of the African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, has not yet arrived here in Inanda, where he will be leading the party's campaign to engage with the community members of this specific area. You'd remember that back in 2019, this area was hit by floods, and also back in 2020, 2021 as well, this area was hit by floods. Some residents of this area have not yet been able to return to their homes and have those homes reconstructed with the assistance of government. This is also the crime capital of South Africa. You've had the NIU, the National Intelligence Unit, led by the South African Police Service under the command of the Provincial Police Commissioner, particularly coming to this area of Inanda, where there has been a number of gang wars over fights, over turfs of where they allegedly sell drugs, which is one of the areas that is, and social ills that is ravaging this area of Inanda. The president of the ANC, as you can see behind me, these are the members of the African National Congress, the volunteers and supporters who will be crisscrossing this particular ward of Inanda, engaging with the community in order to try and garner votes as the ANC faces somewhat of an onslaught from the newly formed MK party that has been backed by former President Jacob Zuma, who has been unveiled as by the IEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, as the leader of the MK party, replacing Jabulani Khumalo, who was the founder of MK, who did register MK. This is also Inanda, the home township of Zandile Kumete, the regional chairperson of the ANC. She is from this specific area. She is one of the strong political figureheads of the African National Congress within this particular region. In the draft plan of the African National Congress, she was put alongside the president to campaign within this specific area, knowing that she is the regional chairperson of this area, and she has a strong footprint in this particular area of eThekwini and the eThekwini region at large.
Now, Samkele, I mean, talking to the people, I understand that you are currently at Inanda right now. How's the general mood among those residents? I mean, we know that, of course, in totality, the city of Durban used to be a tourist destination, but we've seen it deteriorating rapidly in the past few years due to those storms and floods that you've just mentioned previously. What kind of change are these people saying that they would like the ANC in particular to address after the elections on the 29th of May?
What we have seen in this area is that there is construction just behind us of a bridge that was swept away during the floods back in 2019. I'm just going to ask my colleague Tulo Monare if we can show you that particular shot to show you that there is some sort of relative development in this area, particularly with some of the areas that were faced by floods back in 2019. You'll have to excuse our shaky shot there for a minute. I will take you through some of the construction that is taking place within this specific area of Inanda. We are just going to walk down. After the floods hit, some areas and houses were wiped away within this area of this specific township, which has now forced government to try and come and build infrastructure within this specific area of Inanda. My colleague Tula Monare will just show you the construction of this particular bridge here in Inanda, which was swept away back in the 2019 first floods within this province of KwaZulu-Natal and in this area of Inanda in eThekwini. So the bridge is currently being constructed within this area, which was not the only bridge to be swept away within those floods. If you go to areas such as in Zuma as well, there was a bridge that was also swept away within that specific area. Construction was started in that area, but the community halted that particular project due to allegations of impropriety in building that particular bridge. But this time around, you can see in this community, the contractor is on site, the bridge is being built, and other infrastructure is also being upgraded within this specific area of Inanda. We will try at some point in time to try and speak to the community members of this area who are walking through the streets and who are seeing this particular infrastructure that is being built. You can also see some of them are wearing ANC regalia that have been given by the various ANC volunteers who are here to accompany the President of the African National Congress. I'm just going to ask my colleague Tula Munare, we're going to go up and try to speak to some of the political figureheads who are here, as we also try to get to the various community members. You can also see with the infrastructure and the roads that are being built within this area, you can see this particular part here. I'm just going to ask my colleague Tula Munare to show you. Where this is an area where a river, it's like a river, a stream that passes by. You can see that they are erecting stones to try and curb if there are floods for this river overflowing to people's houses and also damaging the infrastructure that is being built in this area, such as this particular bridge. You can also see that this particular house is built next to this particular river, and if it overflows and there's a flood, it also affects this particular house. It becomes flooded and the neighboring houses around this specific area.
And Samkele, well, that's progressive news for once, all right? But we understand that residents of Inanda have embarked in the previous months on service delivery protests. And of course, we know that the area is a crime hotspot. Just in the past couple of days, 3 people were shot dead on the streets of Inanda. And police have, of course, likened that violence to taxi violence. So how is the ANC actually planning or promising the residents of Inanda that they will deal with not only the crime in the area, but with the issues of service delivery as well?
The ANC, through its regional chairperson, Zandile Kumeto, who is a resident of this area, has been engaging with the structures of the African National Congress and adhering to some of the service delivery issues within this specific area. The issue of taxi war, taxi violence is prominent in this area of Inanda, going on to the neighboring areas of Umzinyati, where we have seen over the course of the years taxi wars erupting within this specific area, along with gang violence as well, turf wars over who has which turf to deal with the various narcotics that are sold within this specific area. There's been also an issue of water in this area of Inanda, where the floods heavily affected the infrastructure in this area, which is also just neighboring to the next township of Zuma and KwaMashu, where the residences of KwaMashu have spent a number of months without electricity in that specific area, with the infrastructure there being dilapidated and also being affected by the floods over the course of the time. I'm just going to try and get Zamamncube, who is the coordinator of the ANC Youth League, to just try and come and speak to us on some of the issues they are raising within the structures of the ANC to address issues of youth unemployment. We've got a number of gender-based violence cases within this specific area of Inanda. Zamamncube, just the essence, as youth leaders of the ANC within this specific region, we know Inanda is prone to crime. We've had gang turf wars over drugs. What are some of the issues that you are raising as the Youth League, knowing that your regional chairperson also comes from this particular area of the African National Congress, which is Zandile Kumeto?
First of all, I think we must mention that we are very much happy ngomsebenzi owenziwa amaPhoyisa currently, because given the fact that isikhathini eside Inanda has been dominated by crime, but we've seen specific focus yamaPhoyisa in this area. However, we still want to emphasize that imgulukudu aqhutshekwe amaPhoyisa enza umsebenzi wayo, in particular in the areas like your South Beach, areas like your Wentworth, where ama drugs are taking the space of young people. There are areas at Tegwini that we still can't access masenzo door to door because abantu abasha bayavinjwa by the drug dealers. We really hope and we are pleading with the minister to put a specific focus on that one. But most importantly, in the North area, very much happy ngomsebenzi owenziwa amaphoyisa.
Looking at that, your president is coming to this area of Inanda with the social ills that are currently taking place in this area, social ills in the eThekwini region, issues of infrastructure development, residences of KwaMashu don't have water at times. You go to areas such as Ntuzu, no water. You go to what you call the KZN zone within this area of eThekwini. You go to areas of Claremont. There are some issues of water as well in those areas, electricity. How are you addressing the issue of infrastructure that is dilapidating in this city?
Okubalekile when Samkele is that whenever we raise issues and challenges that we are currently faced with, we must not cry as if nothing has been done before. That's number one. But number two, we have sharply raised the issues with the leadership of the ANC. Uguti, they must continue holding the officials accountable, because in as much as the municipality is led by the ANC, but there are officials who are supposed to do the actual work in the municipality. So whoever does not deliver, we still plead with the ANC to continue holding them accountable, because at the end of the day, our people suffer not knowing who's responsible for this and that. We're not saying issues are not there. We're not saying the ANC is doing well, but we're simply saying people must do their work in the municipality, and we are saying whoever does not do their work, they should be taken into account.
Thank you very much, Zama Mngube. That is Zama Mngube, who is the coordinator of the Youth League within this. As we move along, we will also try and get the various residents of this specific area to speak on the issues that they are facing on a day-to-day basis living within this community of Inanda. As you can see, construction is going ahead. One can't say that that construction is going ahead just because the president of the African National Congress and the president of the country will be here. You can see that it's been an ongoing project that these people of Inanda have been addressing. Mama, this particular lady seems not to be interested to try and speak to us. As you can see, construction is going ahead. The president of the ANC will do his door-to-door within this specific area once he's done with the area of getting a briefing. You do know this is the crime capital of South Africa. NIU has been very active in trying to get the gang members whom are terrorizing this particular community to be arrested. Some of them have been shot dead, knowing that they have been shooting back at the police.